Samuel L. Jackson is joining us tonight. With a level of talent matched only by his determination, success was inevitable. He caught our attention as Gator in Spike Lee's Jungle Fever and demanded it with his iconic role as Jules in Pulp Fiction. Samuel has since starred in countless films, and his most recent is the upcoming Resurrecting the Champ. Sam?
Hey.
It's great to have you on the show,
Wow,
sir.
that was awesome.
Yes.
I've never been introduced that way. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. I want to talk immediately about Resurrecting the Champ. What's it about?
It's about a reporter, actually, who's trying to live up to his father's legacy. His father was a very famous reporter, and he hadn't found that story that's going to break him into the, I guess, Writers' Hall of Fame or whatever, you know, respectability as a writer. And he discovers this homeless guy in an alley one night being kind of bum-fought by these kids who know he lives in this alley, and the guy tells him he's this ex-heavyweight contender who was almost a champ, and he thinks he's found his story. And he starts to write about this guy.
And that would be you?
That would be me. And he's very open and honest with this writer about his life and the guy's father, because he knows his father and he talks about his father. And he understands what this kid needs, and he's trying to help him get there. And then when the kid kind of realizes what happens and gets angry with him, he can't understand why he's angry, because he says, I gave you what you wanted. I wasn't asking for anything. I was living my life. You interrupted my life. So the honesty that he has about who he is and what he's trying to do is very, cool in terms of how the story plays out. And then he finally reaches a point where he accepts something else about himself, that he can actually be himself in another kind of way.
This character has an alcohol abuse problem, and this is not the first time you've had a role that deals with addiction. You've been very forthcoming in the past about your substance abuse. Did it ever make you reflect on what may have become of you if you weren't able to shake all that stuff off?
No, I never think about that. I always think that, things happen for a reason, and when your path crosses someone's or something happens that causes you to change, sometimes the change is painful, and it hurts to make that change, or you're very resistant to it, because, I went in rehab kicking and screaming. It's like, I don't have a problem. But once I got there, I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, all right, I'm getting some rest, and this is kind of cool. All right, and I haven't tried this, so let me try it. So I started to try it. And for me, the palpable or the realistic difference between where I was and where I am now is right there. Because while I was doing all this stuff, I was kind of stuck in this kind of flatline place. And everything changed. So for me, I had a real honest choice there. Do you like what this is, or do you like what that was? So I can make that balance. So when, in the early days, those choices came to me, whether, I feel like I want to drink, or I feel like I want to smoke a joint, or do I want to go buy some Coke, I could say, or do I want to continue making movies like this and going on location and meeting people and moving in another direction. So I said, okay, let me try that for a while. And the more I tried it, the better off I became. So for me, it always seemed like if I made the bad choice and I picked up a drink, I picked up a drug, then I could go back to being nothing. Or I could stay in this particular place and be Samuel L. Jackson,
right,
which was kind of interesting. So
right.
The more I tried, it was cool. So I trust that instinct.
Right. You came up in a very interesting time in America racially, in Tennessee, which may have been a little behind the times, or maybe in the times, back in the 60s with segregation.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up really in the middle of that, what is that, have you brought any of that with you into what you do as an artist now?
Well, I'm sure. All your experiences inform what you do and who you are. I didn't grow up with a sense of bitterness because of it. That was just the way life was at that particular time. And as things changed, I kind of flowed with all that. And I always think of my life as a different set of hairstyles. I had like short hair for a long time, so I stayed out of the way. And then all of a sudden I went away. I came back with a big afro. My grandmother and my mom lost their minds. Like, cut your hair. They're gonna kill you if they see you with this hair. I was like, yeah. And then, you know, you go from that into, I had like pressed hair for a while because I was trying to be a player in Atlanta, a gambler and hanging out. And then I had braids, and then I had twists, and I had all this other stuff. And I lived in the SNCC office for a while and hung out with Rap Brown and all these people. So
Well, I was
there are
gonna
all
ask you
kinds of
about
things
SNCC.
that, you know, things that went on throughout my life.